I never deny. Yeah, I told you I would never fold, even in the cold. I never lose my hope, back against the ropes. The sun's flower from the concrete is where I rose. It's just perspective, ain't no location for highs and lows. I can't believe the lie no more, the truth is in my soul. Holy Spirit, hold my pen, I'm writing with a ghost. The war's on, my hands are up, I'm fighting on 10 toes. I ain't come this far, fight this hard to make myself known. And I can't switch sides no more, the focus in the road, yeah. And I'm trying to eat, yeah. My plate garnished with goals. I keep my faith, they Yahweh, keep subscribing to.
Morning. Okay, so on the heels of yesterday's protest by Mr. Beaton and the and Molly's family, there's been some announcements. So good, but let's have a look at it. Now, hope everybody's having a good day. That's always important, right? Let's see what we got in here. Bush baby, Craig. Okay, thought we'd just run through this article because there's the key words in here, and it's in quotations for a very good reason. Provincial federal governments to announce review of Nova Scotia shooting. Fresh off the press. After 3 months of planning, the Nova Scotia and Canadian governments are set to announce, this is the key part, a joint independent review. Would you like to define for me what a joint independent review is? Legally? Frenchtons, what's up? Of the April mass shooting that left 22 people dead, Bill Blair, Federal Minister of Public Safety, and Mark Furry, Attorney General and Minister of Justice Nova Scotia and ex-RCMP, will announce the review at a press conference today at 1 p.m. Thursday. All right, so we're at 45 minutes. Jeez, I wonder... I have to do my volunteering. I would love to put that on. If I can't do it now, I will do it later. We'll try. The announcement comes a day after 280. Yay! 280 people. Heroes. Awesome. And that would not include the people that are here, that watched that video, that were there in their heart and spirit yesterday. The video that we had yesterday, including family members of victims, marched through Bible Hill, Nova Scotia, demanding a public inquiry into the incidents. Relatives carried signs in memory of each victim and chanted, quote, "We demand answers," as they walked 3 blocks. Children carried photographs of lost grandmothers as their parents pushed them in strollers. Excellent. Let's use that psychological warfare. Okay? Grandmothers, children, women, they beat us over the head with it all the time. Might as well use it back. Thank you. Global. I'm surprised. Nick Beaton. This guy is a real stand-up guy. Real stand-up guy from what I've heard. My hats are off to him. Whose wife, Kristen Beaton, was killed, said on Wednesday that he was concerned about the delay that both levels of government and the shifting language, this is important, right? Back to that quote unquote, what did they want to call it this time? They've got the musical terms. Joint independent review, which has no legal definition, of course. Grinder in the house. Cringy, what's up? and Christina. How's everybody doing today? Okay, so we'll go back here. G. Oh, man, G. Shifting language. Joint independent review, quote, 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 of the nature of the inquiry, including how Furry has referred to it as a review rather than inquiry. Brock, what's up? Linda. Okay, so this is what they want to do. Funny games legally. Legal funny games. Don't let that snow you. Don't let that snow you. I get the legal process a little bit. I understand kind of what's going on here. And I'm sure many of you do too, because you're asking for a public inquiry. They're giving you, a joint independent review. Furry, ex-RCMP. Sounds like the shit to me. The families want hearings that are open and overseen by an independent party and include a detailed look at the police response, he said. I would like something that also complies with the code and ethics that they have to swear to, as in by being honest. Where are these facilities that they literally do have to be honest, so we can nail them down into that? I don't want a review. I don't want some whatever pie or whatever they want to call pizza. I don't know, whatever he wants to, furry RCMP wants to call it. I want something that adheres to their code of honesty that they swear to, because they can lie everywhere else. Technically, legally, they can lie. So let's put them in a place where they can't lie, and that they are accountable if they do. That is the joint public inquiry. I don't have a lot of faith, to be honest with you. I'm very sorry in the public inquiry system. But outside of a courtroom, I believe that is the best that we're going to get. However, we cannot settle for this snowing of what I liked how Nick Beaton referred to it as shifting language. Don't give me shifting language. Give me what I asked for. And he deserves it. All those families deserve it. The O'Brien family out there, working hard. Beaton family. Tara was out there. I don't know who. I do know a couple of the other people. I'm not going to get into who was all there yesterday, because that's up to them. But we need to stand behind these people. We need to demand that our government, who is us, gives us what we want. This is lunacy. You get what you want, don't you? You don't have to fight for it. You don't have to fight yourself. These arguments are really like, yeah, I'm going to go to court. I'm going to beat myself up. I'm going to do these things because that's logical. In your real life, this is what happens, right? But the governments, the police system, which is yours, all of these civil servants, which are yours, you end up having to fight yourself. Does this make sense? No, of course not. It almost reminds me of Mr. Towers, Chairman Towers, Bank of Canada, saying, well, it makes good business sense to pay yourself interest sometimes. Back in 1939, talking about the Bank of Canada. For another day. This is big stuff. We deserve answers and the truth. We're finished sitting back. It's been 3 months now. We want a public inquiry, he said. Hats off to you, sir. The families of the 22 victims had an online meeting scheduled with Furry after the march on Wednesday, where they were informed that the police would make an announcement regarding the inquiry on Thursday. Do you know how many times Mr. Furry has said, I'm getting to that. We're going to announce that. We're going to do something. 280 people come out. How many did we have over here? I don't know, 300 and some odd or something. Excellent. Thank you all. Hopefully that gets some traction. We got to get this into the public consciousness, into our friends and our families' heads. We just have to. This is the only way to do this. Because when the feet are held to the fire, maybe we won't have to keep doing that. Maybe people will start to figure out we're fighting ourselves. This is ludicrous. It's going to stop. We're going to get what we want. So because of the conference, because of the people, great people on the street there that day, marching. This is really tough stuff. I can't even begin to imagine. I do know, obviously, a little bit from speaking to some people. You do, some of you who are actually family members know even better than all the rest of us how painful this has been. Atrocious. The rampage began at Portapique, Nova Scotia, and ended roughly 100 kilometers outside. I think they just copy-paste this stuff. Outside a gas station in Enfield, Nova Scotia, where the shooter was killed by police. In the 13-hour period between the 18th and 19th, the gunman killed 22 people, including an RCMP officer. During the shootings, the killer wore an authentic, of which he had lots at home in the closet. More uniforms, Halifax Regional Police and RCMP, and drove a replica police car. I have issues with this one. I can't believe the people that are saying from the same mouth. At this point in time, simply can't, and that car had a lot of extra stuff. I was watching, interestingly enough, YouTube last night. I was watching replica people impersonating police officers and replica police cars out of the United States. So these people actually have quite ready access to a lot of this stuff, as in cages and things like this. And some of them are pretty good. But I'll tell you, they're kind of shitty. It's like a cardboard box, a lot of them. And here in Canada, where we don't have these companies, etc., it's very difficult to get this stuff. Again, I'm just putting that out there. In the interim months, families of some of the victims have launched a class action suit. Woot, woot, woot. I think if we were going to do this, if I was a lawyer and I wanted success and answers, that's what I'm going for. Truth. That's it. I'm going to probably tell my clients to sever some of these class action suits into smaller ones, because you have a different justice judge sitting over each of them. This way, you get kind of a better mix, if you follow what I'm saying, rather than maybe somebody who's quite favorable to the RCMP or could be controlled. The proposed class alleging the police force failed to protect their loved ones from the gunman. The proposed class action alleges that even though the RCMP knew that a gunman with a prior history of violence was on the loose in Portapique, the police force failed to protect the public from the shooter, and failed to adequately warn the public about the active shooter situation, in part because they didn't issue the warning provincial-wide alert emergency system. And the 911 yesterday, apparently down there, the 911 debacle. Strange. I've never heard of this before where the 911 system has failed. And they're giving out 1-800 numbers to people. And do you see that there is, I don't want to do this. I am just recounting facts. You have the man who's running around with just a pair of shorts for 2-3 days, wherever, I don't know. He's hiking all over the place, and police are like, oh, we can't find him. I don't know. Dogs are getting stabbed with sticks, and then the 911 system that fails, which is never been heard of that. Hey, Dub, what's up, buddy? I've got to join. Okay. And we got all kinds of people in here. Stan and sad mafioso. I like that. That's interesting. Doctor, the evening of April 19th, the cops had no idea that G2 was camped on the night of April 18th. If you're referring to Joint Task Force, JTF2, I'm not sure. I don't know anything about the military being there that night. That night, I do know the next day they were brought in. More federal, more of this, you're just beating yourself up. So, I will get back to this, but I do need to make a correction. Like those newspapers when they say that little correction thing. I like to make mine big, bold. I'm going to try and go back and actually cut that piece out. It is not something I'm going to leave alone necessarily. Northumberland Investments. I spoke about Northumberland Investments and the Macquaries and Northumberland Investments Limited. Okay. And Hitters talked to me last night. Thank you. I like to be corrected when I'm wrong. I don't want to put out anything ever that is misleading or false. I like to stay as accurate and truthful as possible. Yes, I have opinions on certain things, but in terms of facts, I like to give facts. Northumberland Investments, let's have a look at that. In the will, it's referred to. He asked me to go back and double check. Thank you. I'm very glad. I did think about that a little bit somewhere, but I forgot about it. Of course, because I just do that. So if we're looking here at the last will and testament of Mr. Wortman, okay, he refers to giving the LB, right? Okay, shares in Northumberland Investments Incorporated. Incorporated is very different than limited. So when I'm speaking about Northumberland Investments Limited, which is the Macquarie company that is not, to the best of my knowledge, in any way affiliated, thus far, maybe there is some tie, but I haven't found it yet, affiliated with Northumberland Investments Incorporated. Okay? Incorporated. So that was incorrect news and needs to be corrected, because that don't want to spread something that's wrong, right? Well, we have our friend Tara in the house. Thank you. Tara was down there yesterday and hooked up with Molly, and we got to listen to her a little bit on the phone, being Tara. And so that's really, really great. Families coming together, people, independent people, just standing up for the truth and saying, listen, we've had enough of this. But I do want that clarified. I don't ever want to push things that are wrong. If I'm wrong, I am most certainly willing to admit it, and I want to know. So if you know something and you can say to me, listen, here you go, Seamus, here's some stuff, and you're wrong about that. Yay! Okay? Because we're going to get somewhere finding out truth. If I'm running around spreading something that's disinformation, that would be very bad. Kathy's in the house. Wow. Yep. Okay. So really strong. Now, I'm wondering if we can find this press conference that's going to take place in 25 minutes. Let's see if we can find some other articles. And like I said, I'm going to try and go back and cut that section out because I don't want to be incorrect or put something underneath it. But how are you guys all doing today? I also received a comment from somebody yesterday. I'm not going to call them out other than just to say I received a comment. And this person had indicated that I had not been responding to their emails, that I was ignoring them. They used some rather unflattering language to describe me. And that appears to be, I couldn't find. I searched my emails high and low. I believe I responded to everything, pretty much. And I searched the terms that this person was mentioning, and there's no results. There was no results. Actually, I even took a picture of it for some reason. You know me, I'm like a lawyer, right? Proof. Got to have proof of everything. Where's that? There we go. Okay. So I don't know whether they're sending their stuff to an incorrect email, which I'm sorry about that. I don't appreciate being insulted, but, simply because this is way bigger and more important than I'm not going to take it very personally. But that also. So if I do happen to miss things, which to best of my knowledge, I'm caught up. In fact, I was writing them in a message in reply to say that I did have one outstanding thing, and I have replied to that already this morning. So any tips which are good on the email, I also do the Twitter direct messages. We also have this super group where, of course, why does this stuff come up? This is just okay, over here. The docs cord, what are we up to now? 16. Somebody left the other day, which was sad. I don't know why that was. 216 people. Okay. Amazing. 216 of you are sitting around demanding truth. Many of you, which is really heartwarming and wonderful, many of you are not related to this situation in any way, shape, or form. You just have a huge heart, and you don't like getting lied to, and you don't like to see other people being hurt needlessly, criminally, in my opinion. Definitely civilly, you have culpability in the death of, on the very base level, 9 people. Now I've been digging a little bit more into that. So sorry, to complete that thought. Shiny things. I have a Twitter account that's actually named Shiny Things. I don't know why they let me start it, because I'm not supposed to be there. But anyway, nobody heard me say that. You can reach us there. You can get me on the docs cord. You can get Adrian, his contact, great channel down below. Also Steve, really pulling hard in the background. That was another thing I wanted to talk about, was the people. There are things that I can't discuss, and I hope that people appreciate that. Everybody that has asked me a couple, on those matters, I can't discuss certain things at this time just because I respect people and their confidentiality and their trust, and I will do my damnedest never to break it, because we're all only as important as our word. That's our value, and or at least that was the way I was raised. So, but on that note, there are people who are working in the background who aren't known, who don't have a face out publicly, in the docks court or wherever we are, right? They don't. They're working quietly in the background and doing a lot of hard work. So my hats are off to them. Okay, here we go. Let's go through some of your data. Sad Mafioso saying, I watched the blue and white chopper fly over my house after Onslow shooting and over the bay towards Old Barns. Somebody replied to something. Okay, I got a comment. Thank you. Hopefully it's not with insults, but anyway, over bay towards heading presumably Enfield Schubert area. I also went across the road of Venture. Okay, I'm not sure about the Venture part. Venture is up in up the north. Ventura, is it? The helicopters were most certainly in use. Clinton Allison spoke about them. They brought them in. Military, I think, brought in some. The DNR brought in some. But the RCMP are going to demand more stuff. More helicopters, more guns, more tanks, armored personnel carriers, battering rams, M50s. I don't know what else they're looking for. Hopefully they can learn to use the they use the emergency alert system for the 911. Did they end up using that? There was discussion that they were. They learned how to use that. Lots of funny stuff going on down there. And I'm looking into some other really shady areas right now. Not so much about kids or anything, but some other things we've talked about. Drugs. You read up and all my comments. Okay, I'm going to read up and all your comments. I'm one man. Essentially, not one man. I have a good team. We're a good team, and there's no leader. But I do go through a lot of the stuff. So sometimes I do miss things, and I do apologize if I am. But poke me. I'm still around. Yeah, I don't want to join, but if Seamus wants to talk or gather little details I can provide. The RC isn't being clear with anybody. No. And I heard that yesterday from somebody else about another incident that, this has been going on a long time. We know it, right? I think we all know it. When we sit there and our police force ourselves is saying to ourselves, we can't answer questions. That's like a disconnect in our own brain, right? Can you not answer questions that you ask yourself if you know the answer? Okay, so if you want to reach out to me in any way, Sad Mafioso, I do have those areas. And I'm totally willing and would love to discuss whatever you have knowledge of. Anybody. Hello, Nova Scotia citizen. We're working away hard. Fear. That should lighten the mood. Yes, Kathy, our prayers are with you. Okay, Kathy, I don't know if she said anything in here about that, and I'm not going to because that's her stuff, but we are I'm praying for you. This is the community. This is a community we got to stand up and take care of each other. And Kathy is going through a tough time. Yeah, there we go. Mention of that. So very tragic. But you know what? We together with good intention, good spirit can cross boundaries. Fuck the internet, man. That doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. We all know that. Prayers go a long ways. Let's see what else we got here. I can't stand those kind. Probably polite. No thank you required. I never need thank yous. Maybe one day somebody, something happened to me, and then somebody good will be there. Maybe. You don't know. It's the way, I think it's the way it kind of works. I hope so. God's looking out for us all. Steve had another video banned this morning. Fucking awesome, man. I'll tell you. We don't like it. We don't like it. You can't view it in your zone. I went out and then pulled it out of, I started going all over the world and using different servers all over the world. No, can't watch it. It's banned across the world. Pretty awesome. Excuse me. Fan use O. Okay, well, Fears offered his help, so that's great. Not going to blow up his phone number, hopefully. And that is a funny phone number. That is a funny phone number. That's great, you see? Look at this. Fear wants to help out Kathy. Help. Really such a terrible thing that's going on over here. Now, did I see some other things I did? I'm just going to have a quick boo at this. Now, this is apparently from somebody on the doc squad. I guess I'm going to have to reach out to them. Talk to them about that. Steve's channel. Oh, there we go. He's got it out. Should we go and watch it? I want to give him the traffic because it's his channel. He got it out. Yay. It wasn't banned this time. Glory holes. Ouch. I'm just going to presume that has something to do with something else. Steve, that's kind of a bit of a racy. I don't know. Do you think it's okay to go and watch it? So I'll ask him. I know he'll say yes, but please subscribe to his channel and Adrian's channel. Adrian's not an afterthought when I'm saying that. He's doing awesome stuff. So, what is this? Okay, so I'm just reading Steve's message here. Sorry, give me one moment. He's upset about the song. And, okay. Can we play your video? I don't know if I'm mixing too many things into one thing. Maybe not. What I'll do is I'll just drop the link in below. I don't want to mix too many things, and I want to give him the traffic. Is this copy link? There we go. Ping, and we'll do that. Paste, ping. Okay, and there we go. So please go over and view Steve's video. Give him the support. Give Adrian the support. Give Kage the support. Give Tara, obviously, the support. I don't know. Does Tara have any videos up? smoking weed out there. Good morning. Good morning. Are there any arrests on that? Jeez. Let's see what else we have here on the warrants update. Reply. Okay. I would like to play that public inquiry announcement in 10 minutes. I don't know, can we get that? I'm such a techno bumpkin. RCMP. Of course, it doesn't come up because it's not really considered a public inquiry. Families you ask for family inquiry, they give you, what is it? Joint review. Joint independent review. Here we go. There's another one. Let's have a look at this. Joint independent review of mass shooting in Nova Scotia to be announced. Yay. What was asked for again? Sorry, was that public inquiry? No, you get joint independent review. So you get, I replied to somebody today. I said, the Lionstein. Like Lionstein? This is where they can lie. This is where they can lie. Joint independent review and play funny games and screw around about that. Halifax, Ottawa, and Nova Scotia are set to announce a joint independent review of the mass shooting that left 22 victims dead in April. And how many thousands traumatized? Entire province. Jesus. Country. More trauma. Just psychological trauma. Bill Blair, the federal minister of public safety, and Mark Fury, the provincial minister of justice, have scheduled a news conference as a result of what? All those great people, Nick Beaton and O'Brien's, having the big march down there. When, thanks to you, those of you who tuned in yesterday. And thank you very much for all the help that we had from Kendall and Jill, getting us stuff from the ground so that we could watch it and participate and send our prayers and love there too. Family members of victims have called for a public inquiry. They've called for what? Public inquiry, and you get the joint independent review. The logic? Is it hitting home yet? No. Maybe? Not to those ones who are just walking around worrying about other things. That would include comprehensive look at how the RCMP handled the shootings, the April 18th and 19th Central and Northern Nova Scotia. On Wednesday, close to 300 relatives. Thank you for the press coming out. And, I frankly, though, they're in a position at this point in time, and this is very good. My grandmother taught me this one too. You can force their hand where they have to say something. You start bombarding people, mass, in this day and age, it would be mass emailing. Everybody knows everything, press, government officials, different levels, etc. And everybody knows CC, essentially. You're CCing everybody. Something, right? That's what I said at the beginning too. Get your stuff together, CC everybody, and somebody's going to have to do something. They can't just say, well, I can ignore it, because there's how many hundred other people that can't. Some reporter's going to want to scoop somewhere, and then it's just going to take off from there. Victims and their supporters marched on local RCMP headquarters in Bible Hill, Nova Scotia, emphasizing their desire for a transparent inquiry. 36 Canadian senators have also called for the governments to create a fully open, here we go. Do you see how it's in quotations? You have to be very careful. be very careful. Here we go again. Fully open and transparent, comprehensive inquiry. Now, let's have a look, just so we are all on the same page. Public inquiry, Canada. There is an actual process, the Inquiries Act. Okay? There is an actual process that this legally has to follow. Truths have to be told. There is a system in place. You don't run around and invent new Liechtensteins so that you can skate around the truth and let criminals and people who shouldn't have jobs other than possibly cleaning toilets in these positions. But you can have, what is it here? What are they calling it? Fully open, transparent, and comprehensive inquiry. Word salad. Furry is called these things, but this is from the 36 senators. Do you see what happens? It's just, they're all fucking around. Nobody's sitting there and saying, you know what? I want a full-on public inquiry. The one that's listed in the Inquiries Act. Oh, volunteer time is a-coming. Okay. That alarm is terrible. But this is why they do this. Psychological warfare will pull the wool over your eyes a little bit. It'll sound like it's something. It's, no. There was a system put in place legally, and they have to follow the truth then. Hopefully. I don't believe in them as much as I do the legal system, because apparently, according to even the RCMP, about anything to do with some issues about undercover work, etc., they don't have to tell the truth outside of a courtroom. Is why, advocated for sue. Civil action suit. And I have amended that somewhat in looking at this with time. Sue, sever these cases. Multiple justices overseeing them so that we can get the truth. Furry said, delays in announcing the inquiry were caused to what? A need for officials to work out technical details with federal counterparts. You know what? There you go. There's the technical details. Right there. Bing. Then you don't have to go and invent a Frankenstein. Joint independent inquiry, fully open, transparent, comprehensive inquiry. And these 36 senators look like they're actually doing something when they're really fucking playing word salad and just playing along with the game. Amy, how's it going there? Hope you're having a super day. It's fuckery. There you go. It's fuckery layered on top of fuckery, a fuck cake. I know my language. Oh, I left that in the car. I'm going to have to bring it out. I have, not that I necessarily think the university system, being that I've been in it all my life, is very good at all anymore. But you know what? I have my girlfriend's kids' university savings account. It's called a swear jar that I went out and bought. It's kind of fancy, and I can put it here. The only problem is that it's small. It's small. So I suspect that's going to get filled up rather rapidly as we continue on in this process. But they'll have some money. So, fuckery, fuck smammage. Use multiple courts cases against RCMP. Bing! Todd. He's good. Exactly. Different justices. You're going to get some good. You're going to get some not so good. That's the way the legal system works. Furry has shown he understands that there's a conflict of interest. There's been no compelling evidence that there's a way to explain to him that he would understand. Well, he's RCMP, and I don't know his education background. And again, I'm not passing judgment on people, but he is, I would suspect, not very well educated. And yet he is in charge of things. But this is why he can't even put together anything, because he wants to invent a Lionstein with his federal counterparts like Bill Blair and the 3 senators and Mr. Trudeau and all of them. They're all trash up there. All of it doesn't matter, conservative, anything. They're all the same. We're all going to come to realize this one at some point. Now, let's see if we can find. I would really like to see if we can find something to do with the public inquiry announcement. There's an 11-minute video. Let's watch that. I guess I'm not going to be able to do it, probably. I'll have to put it up later. Let's watch the 11-minute video with and read through this article here. Victims' families lead march calling for public inquiry into mass shooting. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. Bible Hill, the families of mass shooting victims want to make sure that a tragic event like that one that unfolded over 13 hours and claimed 22 lives never happens again. Sounds good to me. Sounds good. But Nick Beaton and Darcy Dobson, right? Darcy Dobson is Nurse O'Brien's daughter, say that without the public inquiry into what is it? Oh, the public inquiry into the incidents of April 18 and 19, there is a lot of uncertainty remains. There were so many things that were done wrong, even afterwards. This is not incompetence. This is not incompetence. I cannot stress that enough. It is not incompetence. I don't know if, funnily enough, the stuff about the man running around with the shorts and the construction sites and these bunglings that they're doing are intentional to try to make them look dumb. So that you're like, oh, they're just really dumb. That's all. It's okay. We're not going to watch because they're just dumb. Rather than intentional acts that caused and led to the deaths of many people. So we want to know why, when we want to make sure this never, ever happens to another family again. Awesome. Right on you. I miss my mummy. We deserve the answers. Psychological warfare. Let's fight it. Use it. We've got babies and we're getting bonked over the head all the time with babies and grandmothers and all kinds of other things everywhere else in the world. Little children starving in Ethiopia, whatever. Why not talk about the truth here? This gets to people. This gets to people who aren't here right now watching, right? Is the babies. Because that they can't, they've been traumatized so much all over their life. We all have. That we've been desensitized. Because a normal person in a vacuum, you hadn't had this world and you knew somebody somewhere was getting hurt, you'd be like, what the fuck? I'm going to help with that. Doesn't matter. I don't know them. It doesn't matter if they live across the country. I'm going to help that person. No, because you've been bombarded your entire life. We have been bombarded entire life with trauma. It tunes us out, but there's still fragments of this left. And babies, women, the ones that apparently are innocents. They are in many cases. Some women aren't necessarily innocent, but Women and children, lifeboats, right? Women and children, lifeboats. Titanic type stuff, right? This is what we identify with because we can understand what it would be like to have kids lost and mothers lost. And you have to fight that war. Nick Beaton, Kristen Beaton, husband, leads hundreds of people on a march to the RCMP detachment on Bible Hill on Wednesday as an effort to keep open the pressure on provincial and federal governments to call public inquiry into mass shooting April 18th and 19th. On that note, again, shiny thing, it's a little bit of an aside. When families were trying to get answers right at the beginning of whether their loved ones were dead, I'm not going to specify the family, they kept phoning. Okay, phoning and saying, where's, what's going on? Is my loved one, I'll just leave it at that, my loved one dead? No answers, no answers, no answers. Oh, well, we don't know. Yeah. Meanwhile, you had, what the hell was going on here? Let me see if I can pull that up quickly. Demanding the answers, and I thought I actually had it. Bollocks. They were demanding the answers. Here we go. Okay, right here. This is what was going on the RCMP end. Okay, the PR campaign in full effect. Heidi Stevenson's family should be like pissed as all get out. I would be. They're using my daughter. I'm not saying that to be derogatory on their family at all, but they've used these shields, right? That was what was going on the RCMP end. But the families that were looking for answers, well, finally, one family who was actually, funnily enough, I believe one of the quickest notified, how they dealt with that was they all got together. This was 7 hours later. All got together, and what did they do? You know what they did? They bombarded the RCMP station together. And they're like, we're not leaving until you fucking tell us. Oh, you mean you want an answer? Oh, well, okay, we can do that for you then. Really? This stuff is fucking unbelievable, man. Oh, the stink is deep. I'm beginning to learn how deep it is, and it's looking real deep and old. Much, much worse than I thought. As in stuff I haven't spoken of even. Okay, but we had family members, victims, lying in cars at this point, right? I believe, I'm not certain of that, and I don't mean to be graphic or offensive, but I don't have it on firsthand authority, but it seems to be validated in a bunch of different areas that maybe one of those people ended up in a tow yard. That's nice. At least one. But you had the RCMP out there taking care of their PR, because that's what that was. It was nothing to do with, we love our family member and they're fallen. Bullshit. What that has to do with is, how can we get people to stop attacking us or asking questions? We'll use the shield, we'll use Heidi Stevenson, and then we can say, well, listen, you know what? We had somebody die, so don't ask me questions. Well, no, the fact is that a member of your force who is not your family died, an employee of yours, an employee of ours died. So fundamentally, I feel responsible because they're my family too, right? But that doesn't negate the fact that you didn't just fuck up, in my opinion, at all. You never fucked up. This was all very deliberate on many levels. Not totally. I'm not, going full out. But it was intentional on many of these acts that precipitated this, as in beforehand. And that when I'm talking about beforehand, I'm talking a lot longer than beforehand. I'm talking about a lot of undercover operations that were running, which I am digging deep into, and it's fucking spooky shit because it's all tying together. And I'm like, hopefully I'm wrong. Because it's going to be fucking crazy. Not just the guns behind the chimney type stuff. Way deeper. And this psychological operation that has been launched since, as in that video, the constant mentioning of Moncton and this and that on the RCMP level, okay? Or families don't want to know. We can't tell you anything because families don't want to know. We don't want to hurt the family's feelings. Fuck you. Every family member who has talked to me about this is like, I want answers. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for press conferences. I'm waiting for them to pick up the phone and not these form letters. I'm waiting at the RCMP detachment with my entire family to even find out if my loved one is dead. Okay? The psychological operations, much deeper and much more subversive. What happened a month later? Right? We talked about that a bunch. I'm going to keep repeating because I don't know is what I say necessarily people grasp, or not being insulting, just because the sheer amount of data. And sadly, the way our minds are geared, because we're good people, right? So we can't assume that people are going to do something bad. We don't want to see that. We want to assume that people are making mistakes, that they would never do such things, when in reality, no, they do. They do. Yeah, the photos supplied a month later of the garage. How convenient. You had a certain people come out of woodwork a month later. Look at the date. It's all the same time. It's not coincidence. There are no coincidences. Just like Paul and I were talking about on the phone yesterday. Zero coincidence. Zero in this world. They fight the psychological warfare so that you don't go and dig and find maybe some of the sick garbage that's really underneath this, which has been running for years and years and doesn't involve Mr. Wortman. Much bigger, sad, other deaths, murders, drugs, not good things. Todd made a very good point yesterday. He makes good points. Everybody makes great points. And I spoke to Hitters about it. Hitters has agreed. That's very much a possibility. Just because I'm not saying that I called him as a what do you call it? I just was talking to him on the phone, and he was like, "Yeah, absolutely." What about if this is the RCMP? I think they've gotten to a level now that they will literally throw themselves, their entire unit, under the bus to make themselves look like shit. The RCMP, rather than just individual members, which they can sacrifice and throw away and destroy all these really good officers, of course, fucking tragic. And there's piles of them. Women. Lots and lots of women. They don't care. Mr. Campbell's ex-wife. Oh, that doesn't matter. Just throw them under the bus. All those Native women that the ex-wife was going to talk about. That doesn't matter. Throw them under the bus. Civilians, cops, anybody who gets in their way. But now they've gotten to the level that they will throw themselves under the bus. Why? Is it? Could it be? Could it be? The RCMP want to fold. There are powers that be that want to get rid of it and amalgamate it into something new, something bigger, something nastier. A CSIS type thing, a UN type thing. I'm going off topic, and people may disagree with me on this one. Fair enough. But could it be? They've definitely gotten to the level that they will throw themselves under the bus, the entire unit. Oh yeah, by the way, we're just so stupid. We can't find anybody. Our 911 systems, they just die. Oops, sorry about that. Oh, that was a construction zone. We'll use the emergency alert system there. Oh, no, we can't use it here. Oh, I think we turned it on, didn't we? No, I guess we didn't, Leather. Oh my God, that is just the most horrendous quote. It is my employee. I want that man fired. He's I know what he's doing. But he's also very incompetent. Not only is he malicious and not good, and acting against the people, acting against us, acting against these families, which is the real victims. But he doesn't even know how to do his job. He's calling it an Amber Alert. But they've got all their fancy acronyms and abbreviations and all this trash and the fluid and dynamic garbage psychological warfare. You don't think they went to school to learn that? How to talk like that? That's not this. You have to know how to talk to people like politicians do. When you get in that system and you're up at the trash top, okay, not the really nice, good officers on the ground, the good ones. There are fucking bad ones out there. You have to know how to talk to fuck people over in their heads. Yeah, we'll have some kind of a fucking review, It'll be fully and transparent, but we'll invent the rules. Don't worry about it. We'll tell the truth. Come on. Okay, so we do have some stuff. That must be reference to Tim Bousquet. Do you have a link, Ozzy, for some of this, please? I'll throw it up. I really honestly have to leave in about 12 minutes. Any links to the stuff? I do require your technical know-how because I am in tool. And my mind is very full of stuff. Which might be, if I did miss somebody's message, I'm very sorry. I do miss a lot. I'm human. On the scene, the RCMP at the march were telling families they did all they could as they walked through the crowd. Diversity. This is a fucking garbage word. It needs to be thrown away. It absolutely does. This is part of that languaging, fluid dynamic diversity, blah, blah, blah. It's psychological warfare. Thank you. Okay. I'm going to check that out. Give me one moment because I have to do this. There might be a little echo. I'm hoping not. Okay, good. And how do we do this? I do. Tim Bousquet. Yeah, great. Okay. As soon as you said Tim, I'm like, yeah, I know who that is. Okay. There will not be a public inquiry. Instead, a 3-member independent review panel will be chaired by Nova Scotia Chief Justice Michael McDonald. Oh, so they've chosen who it is. Oh, this reeks, man. Real bad. Oh, I'm going to have a good review through this. I will drop the link for that in here. Bing. Please have a chance to review that. I will drop that over in the docs cord. I don't know how to make it bold. How do you do that again? Hashtag or something? Please. I want to send it to everybody. Review. And look into the people listed. Bing. There we go. Foul. This is foul, people. You're getting fucked over. Big time. Yep, they think you're fucking stupid. Yep. I'm sorry for my harsh language. I'm not for the savings fund that I'm setting up for the kids, but I'm really sorry for my harsh language, but it fucking does something to me. It really does. I could sit around and pussyfoot, but this stuff is gross, man. Independent review. Do you know how long they sat there and figured out how they can fucking worm their way around answers and lie and deceive and how little evidence they'll have to give? And that's what took them time to come up with this shit. We've got to get people woken up here, please. Yeah, these words are just fucking. All they are is just trash. You need to tune them out. You know, you're in your brain. You know, in your heart. You hear some of these terms. You're like, no, that tune it out. Tune it out. Throw it away and just stay with the facts. Oh, fluid dynamic. Frank did. He didn't answer me, which I'm upset about. But anyway, whatever. Maybe he's really busy. No, It's just a bunch of shit. Wow. Let's see. Jesus fucking Christ. I don't like to take the Lord's name in vain. I really don't. I hope he does forgive me one day. There are two members of our former Liberal cabinet minister. I don't care about the Liberal. I care about the politicians. And when they get up there, they're all trash. People are going to get that one too. Former police chief in Fredericton. Backgrounder here. Do you see? I haven't even read this. And I know the fucking game plan. That's why I put there. Please review and look at the people listed. I haven't even read this. I don't know. But I know what they do. Right there. Look into the people listed. You saw me. I just did that on air live. And I know that they're going to have fucking trash in here. Paul was talking to me about that yesterday. All right, I got about 6 minutes. 6 minutes, 5 minutes to volunteer time, 5 minutes. Go and help some great people. I like to help my community. Let's see what else. Unlike the public inquiry. They got an article out on it yet? Oh, balls. Okay, here's another one. Oh, Jesus. Here's the next one. Okay. Unlike the public inquiry, the review panel will not have the power to compel testimony. Oh my God. Are you serious? They can't make people testify. Who wrote that? The same people. The same people. Do you not see what they're doing? We don't want to tell you. We won't compel people to come. So we'll make the fucking Lionstein. Lionstein. I'll show you the message I wrote this morning. I want to dox this person. Because I know what they do. I study them. That's all I do. This stuff is small potatoes compared to what I really do. But fuck, man. It's always the same. Nor will it have the subpoena power. Holy Christ. I think a bunch of us should get together. There might be cause. And fund a suit of our own. Because then we can subpoena people. And they will be compelled to testify. That's why the RCMP doesn't come after anybody. They're not going to come after me. They're not going to come after you. They're not going to do shit. Especially if you're in a group and you have that knowledge. What happens? You come after me. You come after my friends. They're going to be hell to pay because I'm going to subpoena the fuck out of you. There are going to be people sitting down. You want to hide in the closet forever. The government ministers say, however, that all government institutions have agreed to, oh, here we go, more garbage, participate fully. Who the fuck cares? You can't call anybody. Will not have the power to testimony or subpoena power. Well, who's participating fully? Who's participating fully if you can't get these people to sit down? Oh, the RCMP is so. That's because they are the RCMP. The same people, you, supposedly, that wrote this bullshit, this garbage, the Frankenstein, this shit, are the same people that employ the RCMP. That are the same people that have the fucking lying media, CBC, suppressing things, truth. Not just CBC. Not just CBC. Unfucking believable. 1 minute. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna do a video about this. I'm so wound up. Not crazy, as in, I'm gonna go do something nutty. I am furious here. Now you're poking and you're pissing me off. Keep it up. Keep it up. I'm going to come for you. Honestly. Not in a physical sense. With this. Ooh. We're going to come. We're going to come. If those government institutions don't cooperate with the review panel, the panel, quote, may notify the public of the lack of cooperation. I'm going to have to get off the air. I really am. I'm like, I'll tell you, I'm angry. I'm very angry. I don't want to read this. I need time for this to absorb. And frankly, if any of the family members are in here, they should be fucking pissed. What did they do yesterday was human. What this is fucking evil. Not Tim Bousquet. Tim Bousquet. Good man. I'd love to have him take him out for a martini sometime, since he's got the avatar of the martini. I'm going to read. This has kind of got me off track of what I was hoping to look at, but maybe you guys can read and help me by surmising, because I know you guys are all beautiful and see lots of wonderful things all over the place I don't see. And then I can share it with the rest of us. Please feel free to come and join us. I really can't encourage that enough. I know, like, it must sound like I have shares in this thing. I hate these things. I really do. Tech is awful. Tech is fucking awful. Okay? Tech is awful. But this is a place, and it's a place, at least in some small capacity, we can get ourselves together. Go away, Peter McKay. You fucking blow ass too. You're all the same. Links below for that. Links below for the tips. Links below for the ones who have the heart and the courage. And you've got an army behind you. You have an army behind you, and nobody's going to do anything to you. God bless you all, and have a fantastic day. I'll be back.